Okay, I had to go take that phone call. All right, welcome back. Here's my W900. You guys know I got this thing. It was an absolute disaster on the inside. I did get the floor in. We're slowly working on it. I put a new shifter knob in there. There's the back wall. It's got to get cleaned again. I finished putting the dash in, rewired a bunch of stuff, put brand new pedals in. There's the roof inside. There's the back. That's wood with epoxy on it. There's the back. I'm slowly piecing this thing together, and right now on today's agenda, I finally got time. I'm stripping it down, singling out the wheels and tires, and I'm getting ready for bead blast. So I took the shocks off, singled out the wheels and tires, took the fenders off, and next this is going to be a big battle, is to take this fifth wheel off. Most of the time when we take these fifth wheels off, those bolts got to get torched off, and there it is right there. So, oh man, of course that phone's gonna ring. Okay, before we got rudely interrupted with a phone call, so I'm gonna finish taking this ladder off, that catwalk, the fifth wheels next. Hopefully the impact gun will get those out. If not, I'm gonna have to take a torch to them, and then see what happens in here. You see all that? That's called rust jacking. So the rust grows in between there. The rust will grow and spread the metal apart. So that's why it's important to always wash your truck. And I'm looking around for rust jacking on these other brackets. They all look good, so I'm going to leave them on there. It means there's no rust growing in between. And then once I paint it and epoxy it, they'll be sealed in, so nothing will get in there. And we're going to get rid of all that nastiness, all that corrosion, all that growth of rust. Look beautiful, I tell you. It'll look beautiful. It'll look brand new. And then we might throw some new air cans front and back, some new slack adjusters just so they're done. You're going to clean out the inside of that frame rail. See all that stuff growing there? We're going to get rid of all that. It'll look great. So it'll probably get painted from like here, from this line back. It'll get painted, and then maybe some new wheels or polish these. But either way, I'm gonna have them blast. These were the ones that were flipped inside, so because they were never washed or rotated or cleaned, that's what they look like. So I'm gonna have them hit those with the bead blaster too. If I decide to polish them, it'll make it that much easier, or if I decide to paint them, again, it'll make it that much easier if they're blasted already. The other wheels look good on the front and the back. Oh, the wrong ones. The ones over here that I took off, they look good on the inside and the outside. And I think those wheels were pretty recent, maybe less than 5 years old. These look pretty crusty, but they are Alcoas. So that's good news that they're not the Chinese knockoffs. But while I got it apart, you see that bushing, bulging there. I'm going to change that lateral suspension arm, or just suspension arm, I guess you call it. That one looks kind of iffy, but those are spendy. Those are like $500 a pop at the dealership. Same for these. They have aftermarket ones that are like $300, and then the OEM ones are $500 because they're so much thicker. Like this is an OEM one, that's an aftermarket one that somebody changed. While I got it all off, I'm just going to change them to be done and get it all done with. And then you can see here, this is what happens. You see how that rubber bushing's all protruding out? We got to take that off too. So, and then there's a bunch of swelling from the rust on the inside of that frame rail. That'll be really nice to get that bead blasted and look great. We shall see. Okay, stay tuned. Make this happen. Make it happen, Captain. And get this crazy train on the road. That's what I named this truck. I kept thinking of a name, and I decided to name it Crazy Train. Since Ozzy Osbourne passed away, and that's one of the best songs out there, this is a fitting tribute, because you got to be crazy to be willing to take on these projects, I think, sometimes. Okay, all right, I'll update soon. Okay. Let's take this fifth wheel off. We got all the bolts removed. And we're gonna just knock these out real quick. We're not reusing them. You notice all the bolts are out. Let's try to give it to a little, and the bolts actually came out pretty easy. Let's give it a little persuasion. When I did my Peterbilt, I had to torch the bolts off of that. Let's try this. Oh yeah, look at that. This will come out. There we go. And that's what we want to do. Oh yeah, that's great. Okay. We're gonna go fire up the forklift next and lift this thing up that way. Oh man, these airplanes going by, don't they know I'm recording? Huh? Look at that. That's it, folks. All right, let me fire up the forklift and all right, we got everything we're taking off to go to the bead blaster, and I just brought this out here just to take a quick peek of what this frame looks like, and it's plenty solid. That's just surface rust. Oh yeah, that's great. These are aluminum, so these didn't rust. This this is pretty crazy right here, but you'd be surprised. A bead blaster is gonna make that look brand new, and it'll clean it up real good. That's just rust that grew on there, and it'll clean it up real good. And this has RSP 40s. Let's see what gear ratio it has. I don't know how to read that. It doesn't say on that tag. I think it's this tag. So there's this tag and then there's those two tags. I want to say these are like 340s or something. They're definitely high weight gears. Yeah, see all this stuff? This will all get cleaned up. The bead blaster's gonna knock all of that out. It'll chew right through that. That's grease from greasing the driveline and spewing there. He'll clean all that up. He'll clean that. Yeah, he'll go crazy cleaning it. Well, costs probably, who knows, probably $1,000 or so, maybe more. But it's not a big deal considering what I'm gonna get in exchange. To do this by hand, you'd have to be an absolute madman. You could with the scale gun, but you'd have to be stupid to do it. Like really dumb. Just pay the $1,000 or don't do it, because it would take you the next couple of years. This is where it's the worst. Right here, see? That's it right there. That's, once we clean that, we'll get an idea of what's going on under there. And then this is the other side. If we have to reinforce it, we'll reinforce it, but my money says that'll clean up just fine. Yeah, see that? That's not good. But I think we'll be all right. I've done a lot worse, and it's amazing how nice it turns out. See, here it is. Look. What we're looking for also is to see what shape those holes are in. Look, this one actually moved already. That one moved just from me bouncing it around with the forklift. I'm gonna put bolts in there just to hold it up. All right, well, there you go. This is what I'm doing today. Okay, next is to take this bad boy to bead blast. That's where we're going right now. We got it hooked up. Okay, if you notice, I took apart the steps on that side. Airbags are gone, and shocks are gone, fenders are gone. One of the torsion arms is removed, and spent a good every bit of 4 or 5 hours blowing the fine dust from the bead blaster. And I got to do it again. I should have took those airbags off when I took it to the bead blast, but I didn't. But that's okay. Next time, that's what I'll do. But anyway, so what they do is they put a metal sheet all the way up so they don't damage your roof or anything. They put a metal sheet right here at the fuel tank, and that's why it's only from there back. So the rest I'm gonna have to hand sand and clean. This I'll pressure wash when it's all done. But I don't know, we got probably another good 8 hours of prep work before we can primer, before I can primer, because there's nobody here helping me. So when I say we, I mean you and me, because you're gonna be with me in spirit, of course. So yeah, there you go. It's all bead blasted. Remember that nasty funky stuff on the back? Look at that. Wow, all gone. So I got a lot of prep work ahead of me, a lot of prep work. We should be done, I should be done, I don't know, by next week painting it, and then put it all together. And yeah, okay. So here's that other box. This had nothing but chains in there. It's crazy, it had chains in there that probably ain't ever been used. They've been in there forever. It was locked. I found a bunch of spare keys I had, and that's what I opened it with. So I'm gonna paint those black. I'm gonna paint them all black to match the frame. And I took them all apart, took all the rivets apart. Believe it or not, I found a bunch of change under them in between the steps. So I'm gonna replace like this here. See how it's all beat up? That's from rocks hitting it. That's the driver's side, I believe. The driver's side's always gonna be worse than the passenger side, because that's the side that oncoming traffic goes by. So I'm gonna try to find a used one. If not, I'll just have one made or order a brand new one. We'll see. But I'm gonna have these bead blasted, and then I'm gonna paint them with that epoxy paint black, and they're gonna look like this. This is what I painted. I painted them on this truck, and they've been, I want to say, over a year, and they've only worn out here, and here, which is fine by me. I can live with that. Or I might powder coat them. I don't know. But yeah, that was a lot of work today. So I got everything supported and rigged and up in the air, because I got to get under my back. I had to get under my back for about 2-3 hours. I was under there on the creeper, blowing everything out of there. I turned the fans on all the way so it blows everything out. But this is where we're at, folks. This is a lot of work. Me and you are gonna finish this truck. Like I said, you'll be here in spirit. All right, stay tuned.